Don't work too hard. Bye-bye. Well, that was great. I got through it. Huh. Got me some 101 after all. 101. India. My friend Kate lives there. I got a little story about Kate. This'll wait. She married into India. Very, very beautiful woman. I don't even know if I really even kissed her. If I did, it was just for pretend. But Rob and I went to Austin. Yes, this is being public. And it was interesting because my first wife, Sarah, when she left me, Sarah said, "Well, Cole, I'm leaving." And she walked out, shut the door, and I haven't seen her in 10 years. I remember the blinds kind of swinging back and forth. I made a little kind of a movie about it called Bulb. It's under a whole different channel. It's not under the channel that you're watching. I have a different channel. But I did make a movie about the divorce between Sarah and Cole. And after it happened, I thought, you know, I'm going to go by Kate Thistlewaite's house and see if she's there, you know. I went by, nobody answered the door and anything. I really did. I went by the house and I thought I remembered it was her. I was just going to say hi, you know, how you doing? How's the art? Because her father was a big art history guy. I remember we watched Last Temptation of Christ together, and she's like, "Man, this film is for real." Anyway, she did write a play for me. She was a playwright in high school. I don't know if she continued it. I'm sure she continued poetry. But in the play, I go into a shower, or it's basically I go into a shower, like a shower curtain. I go beyond the shower curtain. I go into basically a shower. And I come out of the shower. I think I actually had to wear my boxers during the play, and like I was in a bathrobe or something. It was kind of before I learned not to be ashamed of my body, because I'm human. We all have different body shapes and stuff. And it's okay to be and have all kinds of problems with our bodies and stuff. It's real. But anyway, and I came out of the shower and I was in France, in Paris. I did go to Paris. And oh wait, no, that's Grant Ellis's play. I'm sorry, shit. I thought that was Kate's. No, Kate's play was different. It was writer's block. That's what it was. And I did a version of that when I wrote the play, The Unfinished, which I sent to the Center Theater in an email, or people of the Center Theater in Maine. The Center Theater in Maine. I sent The Unfinished there. And that, I took a piece from Kate's play, Kate Thistlewaite. It was writer's block that she wrote, something like that. And I'm in a cabin or something, and I can't come up with anything to write, so I have to stand up on a chair and then sit down, and I go through all these positions to try to write or something. That was Kate's play. Okay. Messed up. Grant Ellis's play, if I'm not mistaken, was the one where I go in. Was that Grant's play? Or was that Jenny Chowning's? I know that they hooked up and went to Washington, D.C. Some art humanity project or something. Man, the Indian food is strong. But anyway, I think it was Grant Ellis's play. I want to say it was, and I come out of the shower and I'm in France. It was an interesting idea. Rob, though, Vasquez, his was masterful, and this was high school, so he was truly a prodigy in teenage years of writing ability. It was very high. And he did one called The Slow Dancers, and it was Jin Janard or something weird, some name. She's in New York. She's kind of snobby. I tried to Facebook her or something. Janine Janjard or something like that. Jenny Janjard or something. I don't know, her name's probably different now. But she was in it, and it was a 4-person play. and the characters from the past could talk to the characters in the future. And my character was a writer for television. And one of my lines, one of her lines were, "You write for television?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'd always get a laugh. I never understood, and that's what Rob's genius was. It's because he knew comedy, and people would always laugh at that. I don't know if he wrote it to be funny, but there was funny moments in it. And then it ends with them slow dancing, and the two characters that they were in the past is criticizing them in the future. You know, I kind of compare it to some of like Woody Allen's kind of stuff, where it's in The Purple Rose of Cairo, the characters can talk off the movie screen, but Rob wrote it and we were in it, Slow Dancers. I wrote one that was called A Walk Through the Park, and I spelled through THREW. Like, you know, like I just misspelled it or whatever, which is okay. Hey, look, bikers from India. You probably couldn't see them, but anyway, there were bikers back there from India. Irving is a weird, real strange place. Apartments are really different here. A lot of people from India live here. But anyway, my play was about a shoe salesman that was that had suffered from child abuse, and goes back to the workplace and holds everybody hostage because he wants to make a point. And then he talks about child abuse, and then he puts on a pair of shoes, or one of his hostage victims or whatever helps him put on these shoes, or coaches him to put on these shoes, and he takes these shoes and he runs out to the police and flies over them like Peter Pan, flies away, because he has to face something, you know. He was a criminal. He comes back. I remember when I did it with these sunglasses that were like John Lennon. You couldn't see the eyeglasses. So he comes back to his workplace, and he doesn't really rob them. He just holds everybody hostage. I used a rubber band gun when we did it in Bob Reed's class. And I had everything. Everything was written to the Awakening soundtrack with Robert De Niro and Robin Williams. It was with the Awakening soundtrack. And Rob forgot to bring the CD that he had, so I wasn't able to use the soundtrack. I was like, what? No music? But there was copyright issues. He used a bunch of songs that he would never even been able to use in Slow Dancers, probably. I think it was a pale shade of something, I don't know. But anyway, the character flies over them. Flies away, he flies off over all the legality. And now when I think about it, I don't think it's that bad of a play. I always was critical, thinking, oh, it's too Peter Pan-ish, you know, because he talks about Peter Pan and flying. And he talks about his father, and his father was abusive, and he's doing it because he was a victim of child abuse or something. You know, he's still young kid, so I wrote kind of in the same age bracket. And I think one of the lines in it was, "These shoes are from China. Why is the place called All American Shoes?" Because that's where he worked at, All American Shoes. And we were young.